A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, O Lord.
The apostles rejoined Jesus and told him all that they had done and taught. Then he said to them, "You must come away to some lonely place all by yourselves and rest for a while." For there were so many coming and going that the apostles had no time even to eat. So they went off in a boat to a lonely place where they could be by themselves. The people saw them going, and many could guess where. And from every town they all hurried to the place on foot and reached it before them. So as he stepped ashore, he saw a large crowd, and he took pity on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he set himself to teach them at some length. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
We have come to the end of the week, and as we look back at this week, we found ourselves with David at quite some extent. David's journey, this anointed man, this chosen man, his greatness and his fall, his conversion and his return to God. And today we find ourselves in the journey and the life of Solomon, the son of David. And as he takes himself on this throne, he finds himself at Gibeon, the shrine. And interestingly, he pays homage to God. He offers the sacrifice and he places himself before God. He knows who he is before God. And in the midst of this prayer and the conversation that he has with God, as he attributes everything to God, God asks him, "Solomon, what do you want? What do you desire, Solomon? What do you seek?" I'd like to invite you this morning as we break the day, as we step into this day. If God were to stir in your hearts at this very moment and ask you, what do you want? What do you desire? What is it that you seek? What would be your response? Man looks at appearances, God looks at the heart. What would you say to God at this very moment? Maybe a change in your new car, a new bigger house, a bonus somewhere along this year. I don't know. We would all ask for many things. What would you ask? Do you know what David asked? What did David ask? Solomon asked. Wisdom. Is that right? It's not wisdom. It is not wisdom. In spiritual journey, this wisdom that you speak of is called a listening heart. I repeat, a listening heart. The capacity to listen what God wants of you, not what you want of God. It's called a listening heart. And that is what we call in spirituality discernment of spirits. A discernment to know what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. It's a listening heart. And that is all Solomon asked. Grant me that grace, that gift to discern and to know your will, Lord. Your response was, "Lord, teach me your ways. Lord, teach me your statutes." That is all that Solomon asked today. Nothing more, nothing less. Just teach me your ways, Lord. And that, I repeat, is a listening heart. My last question is, do you know where you find this listening heart? Or how do you obtain this listening heart? How do you able to grapple and grasp this listening heart? How? Tell me, how do you find it? Sorry? silence, meditation. What else? When the disciples were so busy, Jesus took them to a quiet place, to a lonely place, and that is silence. My dear friends, I tell you in all my heart, if you can find the silence, because God speaks in silence. The language of God is silence. When you be still and know that I am God. Psalm 104:6. When you're in the stillness of that silence, you will hear the voice of God. And Jesus took the disciples away from the crowd to a lonely place so that they could have a listening heart of what God is asking of them. I invite you, as we draw close to this week, that in the moments of your prayer, in the moments of your own discernment, you will ask the Lord for that listening heart, and be still and know that I am God. For our Blessed Mother, Mary, she treasured and she pondered them in her heart. In all moments, she treasured and pondered them in her heart.